I've been writing commercial computer programs now for about 35 years and started to learn to program about 40 years ago. So what's different in that task now? What's changed? In truth, not much, at least at an abstract level. You write a program, a computer runs it, and you see a result. Of course, there's been good academic work about processes that are followed, and there are new disciplines and new career choices. But some have gone. And of course, technology, the hardware, has radically changed. I think the biggest difference is the way we interact with a computer. Today, just everybody in the developed world does it every day and almost every hour of every day, and almost in everything that we do. In the mid-1970s, ordinary people just did not interact direct with a computer. It was reserved for an elite or a people or firms who could afford to pay that elite to do the work for them. It was quite undemocratic. But technology changes, in particular the introduction of the PC, the personal computer, led to changes in work practices and indeed, in my view, social changes. Computers then were big and expensive. It's often said that today's mobile cell phone that costs £100 or so has just as much computing as an old ICL 1903 that cost perhaps tens of thousands of pounds and required its own air conditioning, office space, and a team of people to look after it 24 hours a day. So with kit like that, you even if it was possible, you perhaps wouldn't let amateurs or students, and in the worst case, members of the public, loose with it. All interaction with a computer was mediated by a computer operator. It was a technical role, but not really coveted one, since it often involved working night shifts to maximise the uptime of the available hardware. And those interactions, the input-output or I/O operations, were through strictly limited devices, no touchscreens or high-definition video. Output generally was in print, reams of music rule computer printouts, or computer reports, and these gave the results of a computer run. Input for me was through punched cards. More senior programmers could use a punched paper tape, like a ticker tape. Each line of the computer program and any supporting data was entered on a piece of cardboard, a little wider and a little shorter than a regular postcard. Each character was encoded according to a standard. 8-bit ASCII was a popular choice and is still maintained today in the background. And a series of holes punched through a card in a column to indicate the digital encoding. My first programs were put onto cards using a device known as a hand punch. It was a very labour intensive and error prone operation. Later we had machines that looked a little like an oversized typewriter that did all the encoding for you as it punched the cards. This made producing a deck of cards a whole lot easier. You gave your card deck containing your program to a computer operator, actually not in person. You put it in a pigeonhole outside the computer room, and they were mostly men, submitted the job to the computer on your behalf. How much processor time, the length of time your programs were allowed to run, was strictly limited according to your status and your budget. Then you waited. If you were lucky, your printout came back the same day, but mostly you saw your results the next day when you got your printout. And if you made an error in your code, you started all over again.